Hi there, this is Tyler Johnston, aka Stuart, and you're listening to How Are You Now, the toughest podcast in Letterkenny.
1, 2.
Mustang and my guitar. Ain't got a dime in my pocket. Don't need no cash, poverty ain't gonna stop this. Get out, hit up the street. Put my case down by my feet. String and I stop to play. People drinking and dancing.
Ah, you picked the right song for the beginning of this episode.
That's a song called Dirty Girl.
Huh.
Tiara, how are you now?
Good and you.
Oh, not so bad. Back at it again. I don't know what
quarantine.
So hopefully everybody's staying safe.
Stay home. I don't care where
home.
you live right now. Stay the fuck home.
Yeah.
Let's get this over with.
You don't need to be out.
The beach isn't that pretty. It will be there when this is all over.
The only reason you need to be out is if you get a doctor's appointment, if you're going to pick up your meds, if you need groceries.
Or if you work in one of those
or if you're an
absolutely
essential.
necessary. Yes.
Yeah.
Like
my
pot store.
Yeah.
And
It is Stoner Sunday.
You know?
So So anyways,
hey.
We're back at it again. Today we'll be covering episode 3 of season 7. Nut. So just before we get started, again, cosplay contest. You guys are home now. There's no reason you shouldn't be able to hook up a cosplay.
Cosplay right now.
Exactly.
Do it.
Hook it up, send it in. You could win a shirt. It's not that hard. Also, independent bands. We're still looking for independent bands to join us.
Who did we just listen to?
This was Flexidecibel. They've been on before.
Yes.
They're a little funk band out of Michigan.
Cool.
So
you want to be like them, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. So hosts at howareyounowpod.com and you can reach us and send us your music and get you on there. Also, if you'd like to leave us a voicemail, we did get a voicemail today.
Yay!
And we will be playing it here in a little bit. Also, I did put just a little thing out today that, folks are, anybody looking for some encouraging words, any help that they need, during this time, I put a little shout out, and we did hear back from and I'm sorry if I mispronounced this, Kelly Corer, from Twitter at KKOHRHERR, and said that they could use some encouraging words from their favorite shirt tuckers. Whoa. Now, I wasn't sure if that meant us or the actual shirt tuckers.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're not really a shirt tucker.
No, not so much, but more of a degen.
A little bit.
but yeah, we give you a shout out for damn sure, because this is tough times for lots of folks. For me, This is not so tough because I've worked from home for the last 10 years.
Nothing has changed for him.
Right. I'm a hermit.
This is so frustrating because he's just like, what? Why do you have anxiety? What's going on? Oh my God.
Yeah. So this is just another Sunday for me. So,
and I'm really excited because we're talking to another human being.
Yeah. So we want to give shout outs to everybody. If you or any if there's something we can do to try to help you in your time, whether it's send you a silly meme, anything we can do. Shout out, just give us a holler. And
this week I actually realized how cut off I felt from everybody, and I started a Facebook group because I knew how to do that. And it was a way that most of my friends and I could actually communicate. And it has turned into a group where you can go in, you can watch movies that we're streaming or join a game that's online or talk to somebody, just make connections in our online world, because that's how we're going to keep sane in this world. Yeah. And so you can go to the Buddy System on Facebook group, and join us.
One of us.
But really, like, there's a lot of people who are having a really hard time with this. This is
not the norm.
This is so beyond the norm, and we have so conditioned ourselves to live outside of our homes that this is a really drastic change for most people, and why so many people are struggling with it, especially, younger people. So, like right now in the group, there's a thread where you can drop your Animal Crossing tag and join Animal Crossing, because that just came out and apparently is psychotically wonderful for everybody. And there's Switch and Twitch and Discord, and like people are just basically saying, "Hey, I do this thing at 8:00. Come and join me," and then people do it, and it's been really great.
And for you folks who are staying at home or working at home, I can give you some tips. Keep your routine. Stay with the same routine that you always have. So you're staying the same in your mind with that. So you just make it part of regular, and try to keep your workspace separate from where you live. So I couldn't stress that enough. So make your workspace. There's no distractions if you can. I know it's not always possible. But I have an office in our house. Well, it's a spare bedroom that wasn't being used. So, but yeah, keep your routine, keep your workspace away. Also, even, just try to keep your routine. That's the biggest thing.
I remember when you first started working from home, you had to keep such a routine that you were still getting up every morning and taking a shower and getting your coffee and like getting dressed and getting ready until you got used to it, and it was a little easier and you basically could wear whatever you want. But
if I wore
that was what kind of helped you get into the right mind frame in the beginning until it became something that was routine.
Yeah.
And so that's probably a good thing for a lot of people, because I know people like, not just me, have been forgetting to take showers because every day feels like the same day.
Yeah. So also another Letterkenny thing, out on the Letterkenny subreddit, there will be an AMA coming up with some folks that you have heard on here. I'm not giving it away who it is, but there will be an AMA coming up soon. So if you're not on the Letterkenny subreddit, it's so r/Letterkenny, that's the subreddit. Join up. There are over 100,000 of us on there, and we are the official podcast of the Letterkenny subreddit. And so now let's get into things. We will introduce, I think, our third timer.
Everybody knows this guy
on the show. Our own resident joint boy, Rene Encarnacion. Rene, how are you now?
Good, and you?
I am well, sir. Thanks for asking. How you been, man?
Good. This is the second time you've messed up the response, though. Isn't it supposed to be not so bad?
Well, the way good and you is not really the right.
True story.
Good and you.
Not so very bad. Thank you.
I'm going in theme with last week's episode. A big hefty no, thank you.
That's a hefty no, thank you. So, what you been up to since last we spoke?
I'm, I guess, essential personnel because I'm still working.
All right.
I'm a delivery driver, so we usually get I won't list off all the stores, but right now I'm only still delivering for Best Buy, Home Depot, and PetSmart, which is kind of nice to be delivering people's dog food and whatnot. People are taking care of their pets and stuff.
Definitely, yeah. Your pets need to be taken care of, and
they can't take care of themselves.
Right? Yeah, and especially in times like this where people are freaking out, they've got a lot of anxiety and they don't know what to do. And having guys like you that are out delivering, that helps a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's really interesting that now Best Buy has implemented a no contact curbside purchasing.
Good.
So literally, I just roll down my window. They ask me what's the names of the orders I'm picking up. I roll down the back window and they chuck them in there, and I go about my day.
Excellent.
Very
well done.
Everybody's doing their part to try and contain this crap.
As
it's
it
good
should
to
be.
know.
Yeah.
Washington's having a little trouble, even though we are we were
ground
a
zero.
Fucking epicenter.
You're ground zero.
There are people in my city,
in the States.
In this city. I've been home for 12 days now. It's been 12 days that school has been out. And people are still going to the beach and hanging out with their friends and like acting like this isn't a big deal. This is a big fucking deal. Go home, because you are, even if you don't care about yourself, think about all of the other people around you.
And in the words of Tracy Ullman, go home.
Go home. Oh my God. I do that at school. At the end of the day when we're waiting for the buses, I'm always like, go home.
Yeah.
I'm, like not, you guys are a little bit older than me, but like, my knowledge of Tracy Ullman won me a trivia round a couple weeks ago at the bar.
Nice.
It was a whole Simpsons question.
Yep.
What's the name of who created Life is Hell? Or what's the other comic that he did? Mm-hmm. And what's the name of Matt Groening? And what was the show that Simpsons started on, which was the Tracy Ullman show?
Yep.
Fun fact. My racist fourth grade teacher, who I will not name, went to school with Matt Groening, and so like as The Simpsons started gaining popularity,
because he knows Matt Groening, he gets a pass. Put his name on blast.
I'm not. No. This is okay. I was in fourth grade a really, really long time ago. I will give benefit of the doubt. Yes, this was my fourth grade teacher.
In my head, it clicked. It was a fellow teacher,
no.
like the fourth grade teacher at your school. I was like,
so
put her on blast. Put him on blast.
When I was in fourth grade was when The Simpsons started becoming pop culture, and not just on the Tracy Ullman show. They got their own show when I was in fourth grade, and the teacher that I had that year had gone to school with him and was good friends with him, and actually had every copy of every like little comic zine that he had done basically before Life is Hell started getting put together. And then there was School is Hell, and then The Simpsons where it was on Tracy Ullman's show, and that was right when I had this person as a teacher. And like I joke around all the time about doing the Bartman as a school song, like a choir song, but that was absolutely in fifth grade. We sang "Do the Bartman" in choir.
Oh wow!
Because that was what happened. From my teacher knew the guy, but nobody had ever heard of him.
Teachers only bragging about this guy because it's like the only cool thing about him. Because if he's a racist, I'm sure that's the only cool thing.
That's my guess.
I might be racist, but I know Matt Groening.
Right. That's my guess. Absolutely.
That's your N-word pass, right?
Yeah. No, I could totally say the N-word. I know the guy who made Simpsons. Come on.
The Simpsons did just finally retire the most racist character they had on there.
Poor Hank Azaria.
I know, but he just didn't get it. Yeah. Like he did a lot of voices. It's no big deal to just stop one of them.
Right. So.
But anyway.
So Rene, we have a
Simpsons podcast, right?
We have a voicemail for you.
Oh yeah.
Hi, this is Rene. I was just curious. I was really wanting to ask a question to Rene. Why are you so fucking awkward, bud?
So Rene. Why are you so fucking awkward?
Was that sober Rene calling not sober Rene, or the other way around?
That was definitely not sober Rene calling you guys last night. Just wanted to remind himself that he's so fucking awkward. Case in point.
We like awkward here.
We do.
I mean, shit. I am like, trust me, I'm way more awkward in person.
All right, so let's get into it, folks. So, So last week was season 7, episode 2, Red Card, Yellow Card. We had a wonderful chat with Ruthie Love. She was beautiful. Great. Yeah, she was awesome. We had a lot of fun with her. Going over that episode about, helping out people who aren't, not in ag related stuff. So, it was, what else would you say about that episode? That's the first couple of episodes here were a lot of we've got a bunch of little things and we don't know how to put it together, but there's a little bit of a storyline.
You guys described it last episode perfectly as a bunch of kind of throwaway stuff.
And also a bit of
nowhere to put it.
Right. Yeah. Also a bit of a callback to Uncle Eddie's Trust.
Right.
So it's kind. I think there was some throwaway stuff. Maybe that's kind of some of the stuff they were going to have in Uncle Eddie's Trust. I don't know, but it seems like there was. I don't know if there was a rush on season 7. It was a little off. This next one though, the one we're covering today.
How many? 1, 2,
is definitely.
I have 5 pages of notes, and I usually have like maybe 2. So
Yeah, I only have a couple of notes on this, but you guys, I'll let you guys.
Well, I enjoy this episode. I mean, it's gross in some ways, but I enjoy this episode.
I'll let you guys get them, baby.
For Tiara to say that, I thought this was going to trigger the fuck out of you.
Oh no, I would talk about sex all day long.
Okay, we can talk about that.
Yeah. So
that's the thing that weirds me out is the way they said that.
That's what I thought was going to get you.
I'll let you guys get those crab vindaloo baby bok choy notes, and we'll talk about those at the end of the show. So anyway, so we start this episode off. It's their kind of pre-show sitting around in the studio. They're all chatting. Squirrely Dan sees a tweet from Professor Tricia about missing her flight and going to a women's conference because she didn't check in 24 hours in advance. And she's mad tweeting about it. Katie says that's the most white thing someone can do is tweet about their angry flight experience. And Wayne says, no, it's not. No, it's Uber. So anyway, they ring the bell to get things started for the show. Glenn counts them in. Wayne intros the show. It's crack an egg. Bet you can't. And then Katie pipes in because she looks over at Derry and says,
Derry, you better tuck that bottom lip in before a bird comes by and poops on it.
He looks like you're in a bad way.
I'm in a bad way.
Now, Derry, I was going to say, you look like you're in a bad way over there, but the whole point of this is to focus on other people's problems so we got time for our own.
So
it's a bit counterproductive if we spend this time working on your problems.
So
suck it up, Buttercup.
Don't slow up production, Derry.
Well, I'm in a real bad way.
What's the frequencies, Kenneth?
Never mind.
Oh, get fucking real.
You had it teed up so fucking nicely, bud.
oh, fucking Derry.
That's not a lot.
Just out with it. Well, Dan kind of did this later.
So, yeah, that's true. He does. So. Dan definitely does this later.
So anyway, he finally explains. It comes out that he had an issue with a road rage incident where this guy thought he cut him off, and then he didn't know how to respond when
he rolls down his window and he says,
"Okay, here goes.
Suck my Johnson."
So yeah,
I have some things to say about this.
So there's and like they talk about, no one hardly ever says Johnson anymore. It's either suck my dick, suck my cock, suck my. And Glenn says ding dong,
which made me want to go and get a ding dong out of the cupboard.
Anyway. They all discuss Derry's inability to make the proper comeback, and it should have just been a one-upping by using a bigger Johnson. So they go Magic Johnson, Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
What's the bigger Johnson?
Yeah.
Johnson and Johnson.
Johnson and Johnson, Randy Johnson.
Also known as the Big Unit.
Yeah. That's ample Johnsons.
Exactly. So they give him a lot of examples. And then Katie says they have a caller.
And he goes by the name of...
Suck my Johnson.
It's him.
How dare you run to your fruity TV show telling tales out of school? That's fucking gutless.
Well, you got your tools packed for this job site. Let him have it.
Suck my Jack Johnson.
Which one?
Airball.
Of all of the examples that they gave him.
Yeah, he went with that. I mean, so anyway, so now we cut to later that evening. We are in Dan's bedroom. I think this is the first time we're probably in Dan's bedroom.
I believe so.
Dan is watching porn and on his laptop, and the dialogue starts, and he starts getting a little perplexed at it.
You better not nut before I nut. Oh, goddamn. Hold on that nut, boy. Oh, yeah, stretch me out, big boy. I'm a nut. Set. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, that's it, white boy. You give me the goodest nut. And now you gonna give me that butt nut. Oh, come on, white boy, goddamn. Oh, give me that balloon nut, butt nut. And give me that big boy nut. Oh, shit. I'm a nut again.
I'm a nut again. I'm a nut again.
Okay, am I the only one that thinks that porn star's voice sounded a little like Chris Rock trying to do
it? Could be.
I'll give you that.
Maybe
I mean, I know it wasn't, but
or Dave Chappelle.
I mean,
oh yeah, it could have been Dave Chappelle. That sounds like his stuff.
Or from Fifth Element. Chris Tucker.
Chris Tucker. Yeah.
Sip green.
Super green.
Anyway,
question: are we going to talk about now who we think that is, or later?
No,
Later.
Okay.
Because we had a whole discussion where we were like, "No, I think okay, we're going to talk about this."
Anyway, we're at Modine's now.
I've been having this conversation by myself. So
then we cut to Modine's, and the Hicks, along with Gail and Mary Fred, are all sitting at the bar talking about how the season's starting to change into winter, and they'll all have to start dressing more warmly. More I can't even remember all the things. There's more parkas. And
I was completely staring at Dan just like Gail was.
So Dan is sitting at the end of the bar, still looking perplexed and anxious, and Gail notices and says,
"You are white, boy. You look like you've seen a ghost."
I've seen things.
So they finally start talking to Dan to try to get him to come clean about what it is, and they finally figure out that it's porn, but he just can't get himself to explain it. So they just all decide that they're going to start watching it. So that was at the end of that scene. Then we cut to the gym, and Riley and Jonesy are working out in the gym when the gym girls come up and ask him about the team and how things are going, and they tell him that that the Irish have folded, and they say, well, so you're no longer hockey players, and they say, well, no, not exactly. So they walk away because they only like hockey players.
Right.
Anyway, Bonnie McMurray then shows up.
Bonnie McMurray.
And they ask her how she's doing. She says, meh. Says, are you serious? Is that how you feel? Meh. Again. And so
she's cereal.
Yeah, so she's cereal, man.
Serious.
Yeah. They ask her what's wrong, and she says she's feeling a little off because her little brother's going away for junior hockey.
Little brother we never heard about.
Yeah, no, we haven't seen this little brother.
New character, apparently.
I'm wondering where he lives.
Yeah.
So normally, I mean, because I'm assuming that Bonnie has lived with
that's what I was assuming, but maybe we were wrong about that.
We'll get to that. Anyway, so they tell her it'll be all right, and she says she's not worried. And anyway, that was just a brief scene, but they all miss hockey. And we're back to Modine's, and they're all watching Dan's porn. And they're just getting to the end of it, and they say they have all pretty much seen that one before. And then they start discussing how funny it is to use the word nut instead of jizz or cum or anything like that.
Right.
Then they all spend a bit, starting to come up with their own food flavored nut.
This was the scene that I had trouble with.
So pretty much all of them say that they watch porn, though Wayne won't commit to that.
Nope.
you won't bite. So Dan then asks all of them what they watch. Everybody then takes a big sip of beer. We cut back to the gym. Bonnie asks Riley and Jonesy and Joint Boy and Tyson, who are also there, about what they miss about playing hockey. Initially, they say it's the babes. And,
of course.
Bonnie's really trying to dig deeper. And so she asks them, other than the girls, what do they like? And they always talk about what kind of cheese, which is, making a crossbar shot into a goal, the Genos, the goals themselves, and about cheddar. So that they like, cheddar and Limburger and all those types. And then there's a whole thing about that and apples and whatever. So there's a lot of hockey lingo going in there.
A lot of hockey, a lot of cheese.
Yeah, a lot of hockey, a lot of cheese.
When Dax and Ron show up, I love them. What they add to it is so good.
Right. Then we're back at Modine's, and they're all sitting around Dan's laptop watching Derry's favorite porn, which is daddy porn.
Daddy. Oh, daddy.
Yeah.
Oh, daddy.
Dan seems a bit disgusted by it because you're fucking sick. It's fucking sick, Derry, and you're fucking sick, Derry.
Not real dad.
And so so they say it's not a real dad, and he seems actually surprised by that.
Gail too. Like she's like, what?
Weird, Daddy. You're fucking weird.
It's fucking weird. Yeah. It's fucking weird and you're fucking weird.
Yep.
So they talk about how it's dad or daddy, and then Alto's like, mommy.
Yeah. Puppy.
Puppy. And Dan just can't take it. So they cut back to the gym, more talking about what they miss from hockey. The sauce, which is a touch pass that goes over an opponent's hockey stick. And they talk about gravy and ragu and all that stuff. Then they talk about how much they like taking the piss out of the schmelts, the rookies. Then we're back at Modine's again, because Gail has talked them into watching her porn, and it's just so much screaming. and so Katie says that's all fake. It doesn't, it just sounds like, it's a fake. You could put it in Tarzan, it would sound like it belonged there. And Mary Fred says it sounds like she's being tortured. Gail says it's just because she got the big dick, and if you never had one, and so they start talking about the size of Stuart's horn, and then and rolled.
I'm sorry, but I'm looking at Ciara's face.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
I can't see this, but it's Ciara's reaction.
Roll jumps in.
Thinking about it is cracking me up.
Roll jumps in with this.
And I heard gay climax like that several times. My gay sex is none of anyone's business.
Your gay sex?
Fine. Gay sex filled me up inside, okay?
Does it?
Yes. After gay sex, there is no other sex. Are you happy?
The gay sex was different than all the other sex you'd had then?
Gay sex is the best of all sex. And I miss it.
Would you go as far as to say gay sex was kind of your own personal awakening?
Gay sex made me feel something deep. Deep inside. There, I said it. It's as though my whole life was meaningless before I discovered gay sex. Are you satisfied? Gay sex made me feel pride. Gay sex made me feel like He-Man. Must you torture me with these reflections? Ever since she left, all I think about is gay sex. I dream about it.
Life-altering then, eh?
Earth-shattering.
Earth-shattering gay sex?
You know, Stuart, just because this gay got away doesn't mean that there aren't a lot of other gays out there.
Almost certainly.
Find yourself a gay, and you'll know what I mean.
Okay.
Stuart. Meg. Are you done talking about sex with your ex-girlfriend, who happens to be named Gay?
Poor Rold.
Yeah,
that whole scene, he's just like,
Rold knows exactly what he's talking about, and wishes he wasn't talking about what he was talking about. So in the end of that scene, Rold is trying to talk them into all watching gay porn. Yay!
And they're like, no, and that's unfair. He watched all of theirs. Why won't they watch his?
They didn't ask him to. He could have said no.
No.
Whatever.
I'm sorry. I'm very curious at the number of people who have made it past the age of like 25 and have not had a conversation about porn with their friends. Right? Thank you.
Yeah.
Like, I will go into that later, but seriously, like that is very much bothering me.
Yeah. So anyway, we're back at the gym.
Size queen stuff.
Yeah, we're back at the gym. And Riley and Jonesy go to talk to their old schmelts, who's now on another team, and it's really bumming them out. He says they should really try to get on because girls love hockey players.
Which was a total throwback from them razzing him.
Yep. And so they're really bummed out. And Bonnie says, "You know what? It'll be okay. I'm going to take you out. I'm going to take you guys out and buy you a beer." Oh, Bonnie McMurray. So finally back at Modine's, Dan is sitting there at the bar all alone. Gail's there, and she says he's looking like he's feeling better about his porn viewing choices than he was before. And he says, yeah, he's realized that, everyone has their own taste in porn and nobody gets to judge anybody else for what they do. And it should just be they should just keep it to themselves, basically. Then basically Gail asks him to have sex and that's it. That's the end of,
it was so perfect.
The end of scene. and
then there's no outro music.
This is, I think, the first time there was no outro music, where it was the porn sounds. So that's it. So yeah, and I'm going to throw real quick my two things, is that Katie is a size queen.
Oh yeah.
And,
right?
Yeah. So
right.
yeah, it's
Lyndon B. Johnson.
Yeah,
What?
right. She hears about LBJ. Yeah, so she's definitely a size queen.
Well.
Yeah, and also I think my observation is that my thought is that Derry is the porn voice, the net voice.
I agree with that. Although in some moments when we're hearing the other actors like on camera doing it,
yeah,
I kind of feel like Stewart maybe a little bit.
Yeah, Katie's a little close as well.
A little bit,
a little close. But I think
like the three of them, but Derry, most likely.
I think they took Nathan Dale's voice and pitch corrected it up a little bit to give it a more feminine sound.
That would make sense.
I think that's what they did.
What do you think?
I think it's Gaylor.
Really?
I was wondering about that on the last one.
I think it's Gaylor on the first one that Dan's watching in his room because it's a black girl, right?
Well,
isn't it safe to be assumed it's a black girl?
it was a black presenting voice.
Yes, it was definitely implied.
But if you listen to the way Derry was doing it, he was doing it with that voice.
And I just feel like in the Letterkenny world, they wouldn't have a white person doing a black voice. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm assuming too much.
I think it's a parody.
Yeah.
I think,
Fair enough.
Yeah. So I mean it's parody. I don't know. I what do you I mean
I think I'm thinking for PC reasons. I don't know.
You speak for all the black people.
I speak for all of my people. No, honestly, I don't know. I wouldn't be able to tell you.
I'm pretty proud of myself, so I can at least have an opinion on it. But I don't know. That was just I really thought it was Gaylor because I've heard Gail, the voice Gail speaks in is not the actor's normal voice.
No, not at all.
And I've heard that actor do a high-pitched voice. And I've actually heard Gail do kind of a squeakier voice. So I don't know. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know.
I'd have to listen to it 100 more times.
So we could slow it down.
I'm just not my audio processing does not work that way. I can recognize voices better than I can recognize faces, but to me, what I'm hearing is the same thing I hear when Derry's ragging them in the same room with them. But they will never admit who does what voices on any of them. So,
and I will speak for the white people because she was talking to white boy. That was definitely a white boy because he wasn't making any sound.
True story. True story.
So, and I love that just to wrap this little part up that we can deduce just from these context clues that Dan is into interracial.
That's kind of what I was thinking,
so
honestly.
Interracial, and then just happen to come across this weird random interracial to have to deal with them.
And
it increases my theory that Miss Trisha is not a white woman,
right?
Because I feel like Dan is a little bit in love with her, and that's why he's always parroting her stuff.
But Katie saying that it was very white of her to say that, and Dan not disagreeing.
He didn't disagree, but he didn't stop and think about that. He just went on talking about the thing that he was talking about.
Yeah.
So it could have just been a glossing over it. Because honestly, I'm not white. I do white people things all the time. And trust me, all of you out there, y'all do white people shit. Every one of you.
Oh, hell no.
Do I do black people shit?
Uh-oh.
She's thinking about it.
I am thinking about it.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
What is black people shit?
That's kind of what I was thinking. I was like, what would be considered that?
Yeah.
How does he fry chicken? That's all I want to know.
My fried chicken is fantastic.
I've never made fried chicken.
I said, how does he? Oh,
He's never made fried chicken for me.
Strike one.
No, I make carnitas.
He does. His carnitas and his chili are the best things ever in the world.
I'm more Hispanic than.
Maybe.
From my time in Texas and California.
Yeah.
That influence there. So, so that was all I had. Who wants to start with their thoughts, theories, trivia, etc.?
I want to keep going on the Miss Trisha thing.
Sure.
Because if an airline's practice is
Professor Tricia.
Professor Tricia, yes. Ms. Tricia is from Letterkenny.
Correct.
And we don't know for sure that they are the same person.
We do not.
Which is another thing that if it is the same person, that, she's a brand person.
Yeah.
But just in general, I'm thinking about from a customer service point of view. Yes, we all know that airlines overbook flights, but this whole, if you don't check in by 24 hours before, like most airlines don't actually let you start checking in until 24 hours before. And then you have to do it like right away or else everybody's checked in. So the only time I've ever been bumped off a flight was when I got there late and had not checked in by the time they were boarding.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Was that your flight back from Vegas?
No, the flight back from Vegas that you are referring to is when somebody thought it was like 2:00 in the afternoon, but it was really 11:00 in the morning, and it was Vegas.
What?
So
whoa. Somebody lost track of time in Vegas? No way.
Right? And it wasn't me. I wasn't the one in charge that time.
Right.
But the time that I was bumped me was actually coming back from a derby thing.
Right.
When I probably Vegas too, actually.
Wouldn't doubt it.
Probably stayed up all night and then went to the airport. Anyway.
So where are we on
I was basically just like, I would be upset. I would be so upset. Yes, I might even tweet about it if tweeting was my normal way of communicating my feelings, which is definitely Professor Tricia's MO.
Mm-hmm.
It would be like you complaining about something on Twitter. Mm-hmm. That doesn't make it a white thing necessarily.
I'm literally guilty of that in the past week. I was on hold with cheapoair.com for 6 hours.
Oh Jesus. Fuck.
Yeah.
Virtual
hold. It was a chat hold. But and then at the end of that, guess how much got solved?
Oh my gosh. I would like to totally thank the dude in customer service from Amazon that fixed a problem that we had within just like...
Yeah, it didn't take long at all.
From everything starting to getting it completely taken care of took like 40 minutes.
Well, it's probably because it wasn't a delivery issue.
It was not a delivery issue. That is true.
Well,
it was a payment issue.
That is true.
I'm supposed to be going to Texas next week.
Ooh. No, you're not. No, you're not.
No, obviously. I was going for a comedy festival.
Oh,
yeah, no, you're not.
That's not happening.
More than 50 people at a comedy festival.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Nope.
Yeah. So I'm still waiting for them to call me back. But anyway.
Yeah. Because
I have a random question for you guys.
Sure, go for it.
You guys are always doing the little trivias and the random.
Yeah.
So for this episode, I wanted you guys to pick a Johnson.
I did the same thing.
Did you?
Yeah, totally did. It's right there. Okay.
Well, I don't know.
One that was not named in the show.
Yeah, that's hard to think.
And then, do we want to specify that the Johnson in question has to have potentially a Johnson?
Here we go. Marsha Johnson.
See, I wondered about that one. I thought about, now, is that going to be problematic because we're talking about Marsha Johnson having a Johnson or being a Johnson? Because,
I think just being a Johnson.
Okay.
Because Johnson & Johnson is a company.
Right.
Is that a double Johnson?
But
That's
the reason
double Johnson in one person?
The reason why I asked was because the first things that I thought of were Betsy Johnson, Beverly Johnson, and Dakota Johnson, like literally in that order. I couldn't think of any.
I don't know who those are.
So Dakota Johnson is Don Johnson's daughter, who was in the 50 Shades movie. Betsy Johnson is a designer, and Beverly Johnson was a supermodel in the 90s, like one of the first black supermodels out there. So those were, for me, I knew them. But Robert Johnson.
Crossroads.
Yep. Jimmy Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
Jimmy.
Coach of the Cowboys.
Coach Jimmy.
I'm waiting.
Boris Johnson, who probably doesn't have the biggest Johnson.
Boris Johnson.
Prime Minister of England's
what
Donald
about
Trump.
Hojo?
Who?
Howard Johnson.
Hojo?
Well,
Howard Johnson.
Well, they did talk about Howard Johnson,
They did, yeah.
but you're talking about the musician, as opposed to the things can only get better.
Oh, okay. No, I did not know that one.
Okay. That's my only pull. But I mean, not for nothing on the show on Randy Johnson. That was mine. That was
right.
Big unit.
A big unit.
Right.
Come on, bro.
Right.
Only dude ever. Sad incident, but like the only guy to pitch a bird out of midair. Dude, legendary Johnson.
He was a part of the Mariners when the Mariners were still good, so I watched them a lot.
That's you guys.
Yeah,
That's
he
you
was.
guys.
He started off with us, and when I was in high school, when it used to cost like $5 to go to watch the Mariners play in the afternoon after school.
As an elementary school student, I remember anytime I got a Howard Johnson baseball card, that was one you never brought to school. It was like, keep that one at home. You know, like that was a prize. The big units. Yeah.
I would like to on the Johnson thing. I would really like to just show my appreciation for the terrible pun that happened in that scene, where Dario was like, "Well, what about Sean Lennon?" You know, John's son.
Why?
It was Glenn. That was Glenn.
That was Glenn. But no, you don't understand. I love that shit so much. It was like,
yeah, they were like, boo.
Yeah, they were booing. I was like, yeah. So actually, I wanted to kind of maybe see if I could get someone to call us on what is it?
304-50 Ferda.
304-50 Ferda, and tell me your best groaner. Tell me the joke that like you can like stop conversation with because it's so bad. I will love it. Give it to me. My students usually do this for me. I've now been 12 days away from my students, so I need somebody to give me terrible puns.
Some dad jokes.
Some dad jokes. Absolutely.
So what else we got? What else we got after our Johnson talk?
So much. Go for it. What you got
I'm
there?
still trying to figure out what the fuck could butt nut be.
Oh,
right, yeah. What was the butt nut one?
But no, that's
it was
it's anal
balloon.
sex.
It was the balloon nut butt nut. That was what I understand. The butt nut by itself, but what's a balloon nut butt nut?
A balloon. Well, the balloon knot is the sphincter. Because if you look at it, it kind of looks like a balloon knot. You've never heard that one?
I did not get that one. No. Did you get that one?
I mean, no, I did. No, I've known balloon knot because I'm a huge Kevin Smith fan, and like that's like they used to have for a while. The Rusty Sheriff's badge, the old wagon wheel. I've heard every freaking variation for the beehole. But I just felt like the butt nut was a different thing that they were just trying to make up.
Nutting in the butt.
Yeah.
But we know Wayne's not down for that because he don't like bagels. Nope.
Right. Oh, Wayne, you're missing out.
So okay, here's another question there. Why was Bonnie McMurray so
nice
worried about getting the boys back on a team? What was her motivation there?
I think that she's a bit of a bunny herself. She's a bit of a puck bunny. She likes to go to the games and watch them, and there's no Letterkenny Irish now, so maybe she's like, get on a team so I have an excuse to go and drive out to wherever you're going to play.
But then her little brother just got on a team, so what does she need the boys for?
But her little brother got on a team that's not local because they were talking about Billet brother or Billet sister who might take him down.
But there's no local teams at that time, was there?
Right.
So the Irish,
there was no local teams. They have to travel anyway.
Right. So it doesn't necessarily mean that'll be where. I don't know. I don't know.
But I'm just saying, like he's on a junior team and she's looking for hockey players like who are probably older. And
maybe she's just. I think she's just being nice, trying to help him out.
I guess I don't know. It's just weird. I mean, she's always the nicest person. She's literally next to Wayne, the nicest person in Letterkenny. She does all that charity work. But I mean, it's just I don't know. I was wondering the whole time, what was the end game of almost the entire episode? Like this, getting the boys, I guess, back towards playing hockey, I guess. But
for the boy, I think
it was just furthering that storyline of that. There's no because in future episodes things happen that changes that because they get motivated to want to be on a team again.
Right. So
wait, do the boys get on a team again?
I
said
know.
motivated. I didn't say they did. I said they got motivated.
I'm wondering.
I don't know. I can't tell the future.
I wonder.
But I think Bonnie. I think Bonnie loves the guys. They're like her older brothers.
Yeah,
that's really what it is. Because I don't think she's ever gonna date any of them.
No, and I think that with those two, she's been very clear because they still Well, they still are like, Bonnie McMurray, and she's like, I know, it's okay. Like, we'll get through this part, but we're still cool because you're not going to actually like try to fuck me, so we're good.
Yeah.
And because if you tried to and I didn't want you to, you'd be dead.
Yeah. Between
She's
like, her older brother and Wayne.
Letterkenny's like little darling angel, isn't she?
A little bit.
Yeah.
In no clothes or very few.
Yeah, she's like a smoke show, but like it's like, oh, she's just Bonnie McMurray.
She's cute.
Oh.
She's cute. She's sweet. She's smart.
Yeah.
I like Bonnie.
She's everything, but like nobody really is gonna touch her. Just kind of crazy.
Because they're all afraid of her brother.
Yeah, I mean it's. I don't know.
I hope she finds somebody someday.
Well, maybe the entire. So here's a thought. Maybe the entire show, when the show ends, that'll be because Wayne has always had no luck in love. Bonnie's never.
No.
Maybe that's how it's going to end.
Dude,
no.
Could you imagine? No.
It should.
But
that's
the paint dry.
It's kind of. It's got a logic to it.
It does have a logic to it, and but no, I mean it's. Like, it makes me like go back to when we first started doing this and we were trying to figure out how old they all were, and we were kind of guesstimating at ages. Like we know that
Wayne's currently in a great relationship, isn't he?
Yes. With
yes.
Mary Fred.
In this show, currently, he's with Murray Fred.
Right.
But that's,
I think Bonnie is just biding her time.
You know, he loves that woman. He's perfect. She's perfect for him.
Yeah.
Totally. They're going to last forever.
But, Bonnie has already said that she wants to keep her options open so she can date lots of people and not get in anybody trouble. Mm-hmm. which all Derry, Squirrely Dan, and Katie laughed at completely. That she wouldn't get in trouble just for going and have sex with whoever she wanted.
She is Letterkenny's darling princess.
Yeah. So,
and Katie is Letterkenny's darling badass.
Something like that.
Boss ass bitch.
So what else we got?
I would like your opinion on why Derry is so insulted by an insult that if it had come out of one of the students in my classroom, I would have laughed in their face.
I think it's because I think it's like Wayne said. It was always you couldn't, the low hanging fruit he was just being hit in the head with. It was like that he was dumbfounded by the stupidity of the insult that he didn't know how to answer it.
But it was so offensive to him that it kept in his head for a really long time, and the fact that he wasn't able to respond to it.
I think that's what it was. That he couldn't respond. He was handcuffed. That it was just he was so dumbfounded by this insult that he didn't know how to respond to. That's really what fucked with him, is that he didn't know how to respond to it.
I've seen Derry be a freaking poopy pants before, but when I heard him go, well, I'm in a real bad way.
Right?
I was like, what the fuck is that, Derry?
Right.
It was like softer than your birthday party, bro. What's going on?
He was like that with Anik too at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Derry's got a real like selfish, self-centered streak in him that makes him act very juvenile, and it's
a little sociopathic, isn't he?
I don't know if I would go sociopathic. I would just say that he never got past the ego stage of growth.
Okay. Okay. I'm having a little self-analyzing moment.
I don't.
Well, yeah, it's like
Derry very often.
It's like just developmental psychology. He seems like a teenager to me.
It's like he never had anybody to tell him.
Right. He doesn't have the social competency to survive in a world like what we actually live in.
Right. Which is why he needs Wayne and Katie.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
during that scene, there was one little throwaway that Derry just whispered, he's like, John, son of a bitch. When he realized that all these other
that would have been a good one.
Yeah, it's like once it hit him. Oh yeah, I could have done that.
Shit, there's so many Johnsons, and they're huge.
You just got to get the bigger Johnson, man. What else we got?
I love the part where I forgot the exact line, but like somebody basically mentioned like who's seen bigger Johnsons, and Katie was about to answer, and Wayne was like, don't, just don't, please.
Yeah, and then she got all excited about the Lyndon Baines Johnson.
That one cracked me up too. I'm like, is she a size queen or was she a president freak? Because there's people who are like into kinky president shit. You know?
No, well, we know she's been once she heard from Wayne the first time about how big his horn was, then she was all like, "Oh my fuck!"
She got upset.
She got upset about it.
She was mad that she missed out on that. And even in this, when Roald was describing it, she's like, "Damn it! Like I missed my chance."
My favorite description of his fucking giant fucking peener is a deflated football. The image on that, I just can't get that image out of my fucking head. This fucking show it does that to me.
That would lead you to think that he's also uncut.
Yeah. I also get to throw, as I always do, love and fucking appreciation to Roldy. Like his subtle, like just facial reactions and Stuart, like, you know, when like Stuart is talking about gay sex and just like, I fucking love him as an actor so fucking much. I would literally, and I can't make this happen for free because my sister's husband is a very amazing tattoo artist. I'm probably going to get a Roldy tattoo.
Nice. Yeah. Evan Stern is so good. Like you're saying, that entire thing where he's talking about gay sex and he looks so forlorn. He looks so forlorn that he knows that he's not talking about actual gay sex, but he's talking about sex with gay.
He's reacting to every single line differently, just adding a little twist. But come on, that's not. You know what we're doing. Oh.
Now I have to be the one to explain to everybody for you.
By the way, everybody, Stuart, we're talking about your ex-girlfriend who happens to be named Gay, and we're not actually watching any gay porn.
And I like Wayne when he said when Roald says that, he goes.
Yeah, points at him.
Just a little, not the nod and point.
That's a good Wayne impression. Man, you guys need to start thinking about me doing the video of this.
Well,
us being goofballs, there's subtle subtleties.
Yeah,
one
of the things that we have been talking about is since
we're in quarantine.
Yeah, but we probably need another computer for it. But there's a thing called Cast, which will allow you to use your camera and cast what's going on at that time. So, and I think there's ways that we could link that all up to that. So,
I mean, because then people would actually understand why you guys call me the resident freaking joint cosplay.
Well, and
it's just
also
non-stop joints.
They would also realize how fucking ridiculous we are and the faces that we make at each other constantly, and like me like scowling at him and like pointing at him or pointing at.
I'm serious, like or the dog. Like the first couple episodes, I remember you guys always having the dog being annoying. Like
she's used to it now. She's quiet.
Such a great suggestion, you guys. People love that stuff.
Yeah, maybe someday I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out.
He'll figure it out.
I'll fucking figure it out.
I'm just saying that even just being as a guest, it's such an amazing experience. And you know what? I'm going to take this moment to thank you guys for all the effort you guys put into, especially like during these times. Content creators are the backbone of what we have right now. Dude, they're doing. Did you guys see they did Monday Night Raw with no audience?
No.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, they did that last week. They did like a whole week of episodes. And it was kind of funny where it's like, John Cena doesn't really do many appearances, and like he did an appearance, and it's just kind of funny to just with no audience. It's just kind of an old man in jorts running down the runway. It's kind of like it's not the same.
Yeah,
you realize how much the audience is the backbone. Of a lot of what we do and how we find entertainment. I mean, being military, granted, you're surrounded by a lot of people. You often feel isolated. So I'm a nerdy video gamer / stoner. And I feel like I've been doomsday prepping for this for like my whole life. It's just like, what? I get to stay home and play video games. I've got video games I haven't finished for like 5 years.
Same.
I've got books I haven't read that I keep buying more and more of, and I am so excited. I have read a book and a half. I would have finished 2 if I hadn't started this group, which I will finish
here in Denver, the bookstore. I had a book. Right now had a Stephen King's book on writing. I had it reserved. They called me up. They're like, "Hey, we can arrange prepayment and we'll do curbside pickup.
That's
nice.
nice. I like that.
That was really cool. It's a place called Tattered and Torn Bookstore. It's in Denver. In case I don't know, just throw that name out there.
I know we have a few friends who live in Denver, the Denver area.
Yeah,
we have a few listeners. I know that I have a few friends who live in that general area, so they might know exactly what you're talking about.
Sweet. Oh yeah,
Denver's a very large city.
I know. I said the general area. That's why they could know.
Denver is actually not that big. It's from New York City.
I mean,
it's more spread out.
I mean, land mass. It's pretty,
like saying Seattle. It's spread.
Denver proper
exactly.
is actually pretty small.
Well, I mean,
when people say Seattle, they usually think downtown Seattle, but we live about 7 miles outside of downtown, and we're still in Seattle. So
yeah, I'm technically
more than that, more than 7 miles. Where are we?
Aurora.
But I'm like, so that's like 20 minutes from Denver,
and we're 20 minutes from downtown Seattle.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So
yeah,
people will generalize, but yeah, people know that stuff, I'm sure.
Yeah.
What else we got?
Anyway,
any other thoughts?
Absolutely, always.
I've got go ahead. I was gonna say I have a funny road rage story.
Go ahead. Do it.
This was when I was still living in New York City. I honked at somebody who was sitting at a green light and wasn't going.
Yeah.
And like I ended up flashing them with the high beams, and that made them go.
Yeah.
And then they pulled up next to me and started signing at me.
Oh, geez.
I know like a little bit of sign language, thanks to John Leguizamo. So that's my one road rage incident. I was like, I can't hear you. I looked away just to mess with him. And I was like, I pointed at him. I told him, you're bullshit, which is like one of the dumbest things I know. But it was typical New Yorker road rage. Like
a sign language road rage. I'll have to ask Kelly.
I bet Kelly Joe.
Yeah, my cousin Kelly. She, even though she's hearing, her first language was sign language because both of her parents are deaf. Which is my uncle. Eddie and I can't remember her mom's name, but anyway, so yeah, she speaks fluent sign language, and so
she's an interpreter, has gone to school, even though it was her first language. Right. That's what she does now.
So it's I can't imagine. I'll have to ask her if she's ever seen.
Well, I know her husband listens to this, so maybe, hey, Chris, you want to let us know?
And Chris has learned to speak as well.
Yeah.
So
if she's ever seen what?
A deaf road rage incident.
Actually, what's kind of cool here in Colorado, there's a huge deaf community in the cannabis culture.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Huge.
My uncle is a huge stoner.
I was working on the cannabis farms when I first moved here, and when I was in Oklahoma before I moved here, and there was a whole crew of deaf guys and girls who were like working on the fields with me.
Nice.
Oh, and that was a blessing because I worked in the fields. I happen to have extra latex gloves lying around my car.
because Tiara is a teacher, she has lots of hand sanitizer.
They let me go back into my classroom on this last Thursday. After it had been a week, they let me run back in to just grab whatever I could because we
had to drop something off too.
Because we don't know if we're gonna actually get to go back this school year. And so I grabbed all of my cleaning supplies and my hand sanitizer, and I felt like I was cheating somehow that I had this secret supply as a teacher because kids are gross.
Yeah.
So now we have 4 bottles of hand sanitizer around the house, and I'm just so happy that we have it. And Clorox wipes, which you can't find anywhere in Seattle right now. Yeah. I got 3 brand new things of them
today from Best Buy, and the dude met me at the door and pulled out the Clorox wipe as I was walking up to the door. I was like, all right, bro, I got gloves on. We're good. And the people at Best Buy, they've all got gloves. My saddest part that I'm affected with this thing, they closed all the ski mountains. One of the big parts about me moving to Colorado, I really wanted to go skiing here. I've been skiing since I was a kid. I don't know a single Puerto Rican who's as old as I am from the Bronx who was like, I've been skiing since I was 5.
There's got to be a joke, a Puerto Rican ski instructor. That's got to be a sex move.
That has got to be a sex
move.
The sex move.
The Puerto Rican ski instructor.
I'm gonna pull my mic away because I want to laugh so hard.
You're gonna need to come up with something for that. Just so you know, the next time we talk,
I do stand up, right? I do open mic stand up.
Well, good. The next time we talk, you'll have perfected that joke because seriously, there's something there.
Joke that I'm working on is that. Did you guys know that one organization owns like 85% of all these ski resorts in North America?
No,
not surprised.
The Vail people, they closed it down. Like they were like, we're closing down for a little while, and then we're going to make an announcement. We'll figure out what we're going to do and see how we go about the rest of the season in a couple of weeks. 5 days later, Vail was like, we are shutting down all the mountains for the rest of the season. White powder.
I mean, honestly, I think the whole country needs to shut the fuck down completely.
I get it too. But I felt like that was like the most white flex ever.
Yes, that's great.
All the ski resorts, like, whoa, bro.
They won't close the schools, but they'll close.
I wonder how many people are fighting to keep Coachella open.
Oh, Jesus. I'm sure that's a thing.
Hey, I was going to, next week, the festival I was going to is called Skankfest. It's a comedy festival. It's huge. And they freaking shut that down just because it's in Houston. And Houston's like, nope, nobody more than 50 people.
Yep.
No private tents, no personal stages, take all your permits.
Yeah, we know that there's a lot of comedians right now who are doing online stand-up. Our friend Valerie, who had from her group Comedy Wham, they had a big online comedy thing with I want to say like 8 different comedians. Yeah, that they did.
What's the response like to those though? I mean,
I don't know.
Amongst us comedians, the ones that I know, I'm friends with a couple like real comedians. I'm just an open micer. It's really feeling like it's just not working. It's not landing because you don't have an audience.
Audience
you
energy,
can't stand up, and then basically what you're going to tell a joke and pause for where you think that laugh is supposed to be, and it's really just going to be awkward.
Yeah.
You need that natural laugh. I appreciate the efforts, but I'm just like, ugh, it's kind of cringy for the most part. I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, it's got to feel weird.
Netflix is dropping a lot. Big Boy by Bert Kreischer.
I saw that.
Hilarious.
I haven't watched it yet, but I saw that come down.
I couldn't even believe the Hey Big Boy. I thought was going to be like a random person. I can't believe who actually called him that. I'm not going to spoil it. So I'm not only doing that, hopefully getting some numbers up. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys as content creators for still doing this shit every fucking week.
Yeah, we don't have to do it in front of an audience.
True story. Ours does not change depending on if people are watching.
I wonder if there's any Letterkenny episodes in the bucket that they've got like hidden away, already filmed. That they can just release.
I think that they have another season that's going to be coming out because the reason why they were on tour is they weren't filming.
Right.
So
and they weren't going to be back.
Exactly. They weren't going to be back for a long time.
Right.
So they definitely, I would assume, have at least a full season under their belt, which for us probably means 2.
More than one.
Who knows? The
way they break up things.
For a while there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they went like 3 months, and the episodes are only 20 minutes tops.
Right.
Yeah.
So. I mean, granted, I know editing and all that stuff takes a while, so that's probably what's going on right now.
Yep.
Probably.
Hopefully they drop something real soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw rumors about it, but they haven't announced a date yet.
Usually it's like end of June, early July, usually. But this last one, it was in October, and then they dropped again in December, which is a little odd.
Well, it makes sense to be July right now because they were planning on touring through the summer.
Right.
And then probably going back to filming after like a break, and then they'd have the Christmas stuff.
Yeah.
So
true.
I don't know.
True. What else you got, baby girl?
So one thing that has happened a lot lately that really is starting to bother me is when Katie like talks shit to Dan, she's usually using derogatory language that's very like toxic masculinity. Like she called him a pansy because he was uncomfortable talking about porn. I might make fun of my friends for feeling uncomfortable talking about porn because we all watch it. We all talk about it all the fucking time. That's just what life really is about. But I'm not going to call somebody a pansy because they feel uncomfortable talking about it to their friends.
Yeah.
It just felt that was like the one thing in the entire episode that made me go, God damn it.
I will say that they do have a lot of that from the women.
The women, yeah. We've talked about that before. That usually when it comes, it's from the women toward the men.
Right. What you got?
I would say, I'm going to say the same thing. It's always the women towards the men. And I feel like they also make sure they go out of their way not to say like extra vulgar words, like the F word or something like that. And, you know, like, I feel like that's them stretching it, you know? And I feel like if that's as worse as it gets, it's really not that bad.
Right.
Yeah,
just my opinion.
I mean, yeah, because we know we know that Queso doesn't like bullying.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, and like I feel like when they do those little things, because like you guys discussed in the last episode of your show, a lot of 99.999% of the stuff that they do there is deliberate.
Yeah.
And I feel like when they say stuff like pansy and shit like that, it's just a little bit of their reminder that they're hicks.
I think so, yeah.
I get that. Like, because it's Tanis and Katie. It's Tanis and Katie that tend to be the ones that do that.
Driving, hockey watching hicks.
Right. I mean,
they defend everything and anything to the end.
Right.
I mean, especially where it's what's right. But they're still hicks.
As Dan says, we are none of us perfect.
Yes.
So, and so I think that they keep a little bit of reality into what that will be. I mean, because if you try to be completely straight line perfect with that, you end up with a show like Glee, which
you can't.
Which started off okay, but then it just really got pointing out all the
for lack of a better expression, you can't pander to everybody.
Right.
It's you have to stay true to what I mean. Think about how it was when it was just the YouTube clips.
Yeah.
And it was much more hickish.
Oh yeah.
I get it. I totally get it. I was just pointing out that this show, when it happens, it's usually toxic masculinity, and that bothers me because it affects the men in the show that Squirrely Dan in particular is trying to grow.
Right.
And in real life,
that's O'Reilly and Jonesy.
True. In real life, if a man in real life, if someone is trying to grow and someone's making fun of them that they respect, they might stop the growth. So it bothers me that Katie's doing that to him. I mean, yes, it can get really fucking annoying when a friend says the same things over and over again, but you don't have to give them shit for still liking the source that they're getting it from.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It just it bothers me that they go out of their way to make it feel like it's only the DGens that do this shitty stuff, and then every once in a while shitty stuff comes out, and I don't like that, and I'm going to call it out.
All right then.
And I got a couple other little ones. So I have the note, if only cum worked that way, which I think had something to do with the flavor. You eat something and then you immediately taste like that.
Yeah, that's how it works.
That's
exactly how it works. You want to try?
See, here's the thing. I was also a teenager who thought that worked. So I'm pretty sure just about every teenager ever is like, ooh, if I eat strawberries, I'm going to taste sweet. Ooh, if I eat bananas, I'm like, no, it doesn't work that way. Although if you eat meat and smoke cigarettes, it definitely changes the flavor and smell.
All right, then.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I'm just, like I said, I've got a couple little ones. The next one is...
Tiara had the more you know right over.
I'm going to have to Tiara's Corner.
Oh, yes. What is a dill pickle Dorito, and why have I never seen it before?
I don't know. I mean,
we've talked about the Canadian chips that they've got up there. I didn't know Doritos had other flavors.
Are you kidding me? I've seen obnoxious Dorito flavors.
No.
You don't remember when Harold and Kumar came out? They had the extreme Doritos.
Nope.
Come on.
No.
Oh yeah.
Nope.
Doritos. You guys, what? You telling me you guys don't go down the chip aisle of Walmart on a daily basis? Because that's the problem right there. If you don't,
we just go to the grocery store.
We don't go to Walmart. The nearest Walmart is outside of our city.
Yeah.
There actually is no Walmart in the city of Seattle, I believe.
Yeah. True.
I'm from New York City. There are none either.
Yeah.
They're usually not allowed in major cities like that.
Right.
But I have a house in the mountains of Pennsylvania, so that's why I usually go with a Walmart up there. But I do know for a fact when you go to Walmart, you will find Pringles flavors you didn't know existed, Doritos flavor, Frank's Red Hot, Oreos flavors that you're like, wait a minute, they make a orange pumpkin latte.
Oh yeah, I love all the flavors that Coach talked about, all the different Oreos.
Oh yeah. What's the matter, little LaQuisha? Eat all your vanilla latte Oreos.
So TR, you had a couple more things?
Yes, I was curious. Does Marie Fred know if Wayne watches porn or not? Like, I couldn't tell if she was like teasing him or actually like trying to find out if he did. But like, she would look at him and then he wouldn't answer, and she would kind of like I don't know, make a face, and I'm like, is she trying to figure it out, or is she just trying to like fuck with him, like I would do if you were embarrassed? So
Tiara,
stop.
Come on.
Stop.
As much toe curling of this as them two are doing,
right? Well,
you
which
think
is
she doesn't know,
but they don't have time to watch porn.
That's my point. That's my point. Like, if Wayne watches porn and she knows, she's either trying.
Not that he doesn't have time, but she knows.
Yes. So either she's making fun of him for not wanting to talk about it with his friends, or she doesn't know.
She doesn't know. I think he's busy throwing so much hip, he hasn't had time to talk about it.
Right.
I'm pretty sure he's never thrown so much hip into the goddamn life. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure she knows. And I'm not going to say what she knows because I think we all know.
She's checked his browser history.
I don't need to check your browser history. I know what you're watching. Probably the same thing I am.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure Wayne doesn't know how to put on the privacy settings.
Yeah, I'm sure. So Marie Fred, she could check those browser history.
Yeah, she's probably fucking with him. She's probably like, I know you do.
And I want to. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I just have one more thing. Well, actually, I have two. One, how is any of what they discussed porn-wise weird? It was really, really mainstream to me.
Yeah.
And maybe I just watched too much porn. Right? Nothing was really like...
standard.
I've seen some scary stuff. And this is like a really simple search on Pornhub would get you anything that they watched today.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't even have to like come up with keywords.
Sure. I mean, yeah.
I saw a great meme this week that was like government work from home. And then it was like a guy's face all nervous. And then it was like porn stars, actual stepbrothers.
Right. So, and then my last one is just, I want to appreciate the fuck out of Roald in this whole episode. But especially when he was like the only one really excited to watch Gail's porn. Like, he got this big smile on his face and he was just looking at her and like, yeah. No, before the gay porn. Before the gay porn. I'm saying when everybody else was like, when Gail was like, I've got one for you. He was like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
So I just
know, dude,
love that.
Literally, watch this. Look, it says right here. Roldy, happy to see it.
Yeah. Exactly.
I am the biggest Roldy fan. You know what? I love Letterkenny as a whole, but man, that dude is such a great actor, and that character is so perfect for what he does and what he's needed for. Oh, love it. It's like, give me some Italian bread and some olive oil. Soak it up.
All right, so that's all the TRs. Well, you have anything left, Rene?
It's fucking weird, dear. You're fucking weird. I love that one.
But it's not fucking weird.
It's fucking weird, dear. You're fucking weird.
It's not weird.
It's one of those Dan things where he's really Dan just has to say things the way he says it.
Like,
and bringing up the what's the frequency, Kenneth?
Yeah,
you're right there.
Yeah, your roommate just said, "Oh my god!" right in the perfect moment, and you probably couldn't hear it, and it was fantastic.
They're playing Smash Bros.
It was perfect. It was lovely. Sorry.
What else did I get? Buttnut.
I don't know. It's after 4:20 now. I'm high.
You answered a question I had without like asking me. It was what was going cheese and what was going sauce.
Yeah.
I thank you for that. And kind of funny. I played hockey. I love that they're keeping with the theme of telling tales out of school.
Right.
Like they brought that up last episode. They did it again this episode. Like motherfuckers need to stop talking shit behind each other's back. Yo, I got something to say. What's up?
But also the Don't Slow It production also came out in that same kind of conversation.
That's right.
Which was another throwback to the last episode.
That. That's right. Last one.
Or not the last episode, but the Crack and Ag.
Yeah.
The Thibodeau episode.
Thibodeau.
Yeah.
Thibodeau.
Better Thibodeau. Shit. Sounds like a huge didgeridoo to me. What else? That's right. I was very surprised to watch one of the boys revert back to his non-PC ways. You know, they were doing really good about working on their PC presentation, especially out in public. And, freaking boy had to drop the Mia so horny. And it was like, come on, bro.
Right.
Like,
that was so perfect.
Well, I think it's one of those, there may be a trigger to a phrase that you say. And so, it'll just flow, and it's because it's always, and you don't like, oh shit, I never thought about that.
Well, as Tiara is currently dancing to the song in her head.
So horny.
No, but I mean, like, I guess that goes into a test of what you were saying before, how like they don't go out of their way to, do dumb shit. They are very deliberate about when they drop a less politically conscious line. So it was very funny to hear him drop back. What? Immediately,
yep.
They did the callback. I don't think that's PC, but no. So that was the one appreciation.
Yeah, I think a lot of this season, at least so far, has been. This is what we're all about. It's been a lot of catch up.
Like you said, you mentioned that last episode.
So this is the first
out there for the newbies,
right? This is the first season that was Hulu original. So so I think there's a lot of that. I think that was put there for the American audience.
I recently matched with someone on a dating app who was like, "Oh, you're into Letterkenny?" I was like, "Oh, you're into Letterkenny?" And she was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Well, what do you think about the female hockey players?" And she was like, "Huh?" And I was like,
how far
you watch the show? She's like, "Oh, I watched the YouTube stuff." And I was like,
"Oh, honey, let me expand your entire world.
I can show you the world."
Dairy Squirrely Dan Wayne.
Yes.
The shit on the outside of the toilet. Spoiler.
Sometimes.
Wait.
Season 8.
Chicken on the outside of the
toilet. You don't want to know how you got shit on the outside of the toilet.
Next thing you're going to tell me there's shit on the Uranus.
There's shit outside the bathroom.
Guess what? It's time for
Good job, baby.
I gotta keep you motherfuckers in line.
Squirrels. It is 4:40 on Stoner Sunday.
Yeah,
we know what's going on. What?
Is there a movie going on?
Yeah, Big Lebowski is going on right now, and the Buddy System. But well, actually,
we need to wrap this up. I gotta watch that.
You listening at home, something different will probably be there for the duration of this quarantine. I will be casting movies on the Buddy System.
Buddy Network.
All right. So let's get into Fuck Fight Ferda.
Fuck Fight Ferda.
Fuck Fight Ferda for you kids playing at home is our version of Fuck, Marry, Kill, where we don't kill anybody. We don't want to marry them. But Wayne does importantly at this time. But so we're going to fight them or we're going to be their friends. So Ferda. So we're going to start off like we always do with Wayne.
And like I always say, when Wayne is coupled with somebody, Wayne don't cheat. So therefore, Ferda.
All right.
He's an easy one for me.
All right.
Always gonna be Ferda unless he's like, no longer
no
longer in love with people.
Okay. All right.
We like to talk about how Wayne is possibly on the spectrum, and I feel Wayne's discomfort this entire episode. And I feel like he needs somebody to be like, bro, let's go hang out over here. I get it. You don't want to be in this conversation. You don't have a foot in this race. Wayne is the only time, I will say this much though, I was surprised when he started throwing in his daddy.
Like he was grossed out and uncomfortable, but he's still part of the group.
Not as much as Dan was.
Not as much as Dan. Dan was really uncomfortable. Like this was the episode where Dan was the one.
I loved the beard.
Right? When he was yeah. And when it comes to sex, like Dan has been the one who's been a little more free thinker. So it's funny to me that he's the one that's kind of freaked out about porn.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think though he'll talk amongst his girls, but not when mixed company.
Well, I think also this is a little bit of a callback to the episode "Different Strokes for Different Folks."
Yeah.
So where he
in what way? I'm sorry, remind me
about talking
mind
about
your own business,
the lifestyle.
What goes on in people's private lives.
But with that, it was Katie who was upset. Right? So Derry.
Derry needs a friend. Derry's so uncomfortably virginal in this episode.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like, I don't know. I mean, he's adventurous in porn-ish. He wants girls to call him daddy, apparently, or at least he likes the videos where girls call other guys daddy. But he's very juvenile.
All right.
I, on occasion, believe in tough love and kind of want to fight Derry for being such a freaking little mini Johnson brat.
Squirrely Dan.
I'm gonna say Ferda because again, he needs a friend where he can be comfortable talking about that kind of stuff with, and maybe that's the thing. Maybe I'm just the friend that everyone's comfortable talking about that stuff to. Because seriously, like I will full on admit that I have been watching porn for the entirety of my adult life, and there is nothing wrong with that.
No way.
Yeah, I know. I am 41 years old. Actually, I probably watched it long before that. But
I didn't know this was that kind of podcast.
I ain't no lady, so. But here's the thing: like, there's nothing. The only thing to be embarrassed about in sex is no. There's nothing to be embarrassed about if everybody's consenting.
Sometimes you fart.
That's not even if you're with the right person. That's not embarrassing. Well, that's just funny. And honestly, funny. In my opinion, if you're not laughing, you're not with the right person.
There you go. There you go. So where are you with Squirrely Dan? Where are you with Squirrely Dan, Renee?
Did you just see me contemplating like, huh?
Yeah.
Where am I with Squirrely Dan? He was annoying the shit out of me with the whole Professor Tricious thing in the beginning. Like, who cares what the hell she's tweeting about? Like, when she's telling something, of semblance and importance, then all right. But it's gonna be fucker Ferda, just because Squirrely Dan is all that is, man.
Mm-hmm. I know he's usually he's completely my type most of the time. You big guy makes me giggle.
I'm still gonna fuck Squirrely Dan just because.
Right.
Okay.
I loved how much he knew about Johnson's.
Right.
Miss Katie's. Yeah. You're almost always Ferda on Katie.
I'm almost always Ferda on Katie, but
sometimes it really
does bother me that she shames people's masculinity. Most of the time, Dan.
Mm-hmm.
So, I would say like a modified Ferda. I would say, bitch, I want to slap you so fucking hard right now because you are being so incredibly insensitive and mean to this person, but I still want to be your friend. So how can we solve this? That's what I would be like.
Yeah.
Totally.
All right.
I think I almost always say
I'm not sure where I put that on the.
I don't either. Say Ferda. We'll go with Ferda.
All right. How about you?
I think I always want to fuck Katie. It's Katie and I'm me, and that's that.
All right then. Glenn. Ding dong.
Ferda. I would like. If Roldy, Gail, and Glenn wanted to sit around and watch gay porn, I would totally be in on that. Like, that would be a fun evening for me, I think.
That might be the only time I'd be okay to watch gay porn, because I'm just as comfortable as 85% of Letterkenny with K-pop. I can just say that because but I would watch that in that situation 100%.
Yeah.
With Glenn, this episode, he didn't really do anything.
No, he had a couple of one-liners. I'm trying to even remember what it was.
I'm gonna fuck Glenn just because
he had the Sean Lennon.
The Sean Lennon joke, yes.
Yeah,
That's my favorite.
I'm fucking him just for that line alone.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, Dad Puns for the win.
So you're both.
Hey guys, just so you know, if you're listening to this podcast, Tiara loves fucking dad jokes. So
I fucking love dad jokes.
So you're changing your ears to fuck for Glenn?
What did I say?
You said Ferda.
Well,
you did.
Yeah, I don't know. I still say Ferda because watching porn.
All right.
I don't think that I have the equipment that he would prefer, but I'm not really a casual sex kind of person anyway. Right. So
okay.
Yeah, but this is. I know. You had the chance to.
And in this episode, he made me laugh. That is true. That is true. I do. But in this particular episode, he made me giggle, but that was it.
Okay.
There wasn't any more substance to it.
Marie Fred then.
In this episode, she's cute as fuck. I love the way she says daddy. I would say fuck her.
Mm-hmm.
She can call me daddy.
Yeah.
Daddy.
Yeah, I like Marie Fred.
I'm having a hard time, but I'll say fuck as well.
Yeah. This is just this episode. We're not looking ahead. You have graduated beyond.
In life. I'm having a hard time in life. That has nothing to do with things that might happen in the future. Oh, look, I got to
go. Stuart.
We go to Florida.
Stuart.
I'd fuck the shit out of Stuart, especially talking about that big old hammer. Ooh,
all right.
Give me some of that gay sex and that hard ass ramming.
I am.
He's not completely annoying in this episode.
No, he's not annoying. The problem for me in this episode is not the way he acts, but every time that there's a description of his cock, I don't want it anywhere near any hole of my body. Which is kind of the problem. Like, he makes me laugh. He's weird, but I'm not Katie. I am equipped for certain things, and I am not equipped for that.
Cool. So, personal items, but no carry-ons. Gotcha.
All right, then. That's an. I'm trying to process that now.
And you know,
I'm sorry. I've learned these expressions thanks to the travel ban.
Sex, as we all know,
like really affected by the travel ban, understands this conversation.
So, sex, as we all know, does not require an insertion of anything.
True story.
So.
Very true story.
And here I thought Randy Johnson had the inside baseball, but at the end it was me.
Hey-o!
I knew you would do it.
So you're considering?
I'm definitely considering. I've always kind of had that in the back of my mind as a considering when he's not high, which he does end up being in this episode.
Mm.
But like, honestly, for me, like I don't know. I've never just no.
Maybe you want to show him something beyond gay sex.
Maybe he's also a bottom, and I'm not a top. So that's a big one there for me.
Right. I forget that.
He's very much a bottom.
Right.
He loved that.
So what's our answer? I'm
gonna say Ferda with benefits. I just want to see it.
All right.
I want to see it.
Okay.
I want him to touch tubes with Rolled.
and that's our next one, Rolled.
I love Rolled. If I had the right equipment, I would fuck Rolled in a heartbeat. Like, he's so.
How can you not love Rolled?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think I've already, since I've said it on air now, I have to commit to a Rolled tattoo. But I don't know if that means I want to fuck him or fucking just be buddies with him forever.
Both. I mean.
So, yeah. I'm going with Ciara's answer.
Sure.
I'm going Ferda with benefits.
Yeah. It's like one of those things where you don't want to know, you don't know if you want to be them, be like them, or be with them.
And I just always hate those moments where, like, Stuart thinks something that just, like, just breaking down.
Yeah, it makes him
soul.
sad, and I just want to reach through the screen and say, "Baby, it's okay."
He doesn't deserve it.
No,
but
he
he's
doesn't.
still great and perfect for the role.
Yes.
Yeah. Gaylor.
Gail. I like Gail in this. I like that she's the only one paying attention to everybody. Like, she sees that Dan is uncomfortable about something.
Yeah.
And while she didn't try to make it better, she actually, like, really egged him on, and it was fantastic. She was the one who was kind of like, "What's wrong with you? You're not right. What's going on?" Like, she's like the me of my friends group. I can tell when someone's having a problem.
She's being a good bartender.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what Dean said. Yeah,
that's what I was
She's
saying.
being a good friend and a good bartender. Like I bartended in New York City, and that's like a big thing. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with your face, man?
Yeah, because you're
This is not
looking
what you look
looking
like.
to see if anybody wants drinks, and you're looking at faces, and so it makes sense.
Yeah.
So now we all
Especially
like
regular,
we all like Gaylor. So we
I like
fucking
that.
her.
I love the fact that she's the only one who's willing to watch gay porn with Roald. Like, I love that. I'm gonna say Ferda because I still don't have any inkling there, but like Ferda, like another Ferda with benefits. Like,
All right.
I would sit in a room and watch porn with her.
But it's more Ferda than fuck.
Yes.
Whereas Rolled
More
maybe,
fuck than Ferda,
right.
maybe. Yeah.
Oh yeah. With that, I'm gonna say the same thing.
Okay.
I love Gaylor with a passion.
Mm.
You know, like she play, especially her being like the only like real black full-time character on the show. It's like I love what she contributes.
Yeah.
And there's times though when she's extra horny, and I'm like, all right, I can jump on that train. But this episode, I love that she's being a great bartender. I can relate to that, and yeah, Ferda all the fucking way.
Okay.
All right.
Bonnie McMurray.
She's so sweet and
She
so
is.
cute and so endearing in this, and she's being a very good friend.
And she's more grown up now.
And
though.
she's definitely starting to be more of a grown-up character.
definitely more grown up than the 6 guys that she's in the gym with.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Excuse me. One of
having
those
her-
guys is Joint Boy, and I get called Joint Boy. Careful. Granted,
Having
yes, she
her
is
in
more
that
mature and more responsible and more awesome than I will ever be.
Having her in that
Still.
scene was really what kind of made it feel like she was finally a little bit of a grown-up.
Yeah.
Like, she felt more grown-up compared to some very main characters that
Yeah.
are older than her. And so it was kind of that first time, the first episode where I was like, okay, she doesn't look like a 12-year-old.
Mm.
So, still not going to say fuck because she's still like,
21.
she's the age of your kid, and I can't fucking do that. Like, that's like she is young enough to be my biological child if I had been able to have a biological child. Therefore, no.
All right. Then.
So Ferda.
All right. Renee.
I'm like I said earlier, I can't get over how sweet she's being. I'm still perplexed over like why she's being so nice to the hockey boys. I'm like, you know, Riley and Jonesy are just like bro-ish pervs, and she's like, come on, boys, you guys should be doing better. So she's going on the Ferda list, and I normally want to take that down on a Tuesday, but I can't. She's so fucking nice. She's Letterkenny's princess.
Yeah,
no one can touch her.
True,
I swear.
Riley and Jonesy.
I'm like Bonnie McMurray in this one. They need a friend to like walk them through this and like get them back on track. Like, I love the way that she basically was like, well, what's the thing that you miss? Like the ladies.
Yeah.
And she's, yeah. Fucking,
Cheese?
come
You
on.
like the cheese? You like the sauce? Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you like going out?
But she's trying to get them to remember what it is that they were really missing, and it wasn't just about getting laid. And that's what they needed. That's what they need. They need people to remind them that there's more to life than just sex.
And speaking of which, I don't know if you picked up on the flow one as well. This going back to the things that they were missing, and she said he was missing the flow, and that, you know, talking about getting the kale back, and so
the leaf, dark green leaves.
Yeah, what they're talking about is Riley's hair, his long hair, and that's when Tyson and Joint Boy both say must be fucking nice because they're bald.
That's what
I was so
Why didn't you
lost
bring
on
that up
that
earlier?
Yeah.
That's funny.
I meant to, and I forgot. So are you Ferda with Riley and Jonesy? as well, or
Tough Love, Fight 'em.
Fight 'em. All right.
Just because throw the curveball in there.
Tyson and Joint Boy, they're a patch. They're a couple too.
Do they have to talk?
I suppose.
like that?
I suppose if they have joints, if they have a joint in their mouth, they probably won't.
I mean, I would have the joint in my mouth, and they would have their mouths full of something else.
Oh, okay.
But
all right.
I'm just cracking
That
you
sounds
up.
like a fuck to me.
All right. There you go. All right. All right. Where are you with Tyson?
Tyson and Joint Boy.
That's like fucking yourself, man.
No, not big contributions.
No, there was no real contribution. They were just.
Yeah, we'll just for
all right. And then finally,
relevant for this episode.
Finally, Dax and Ron.
Same answer as the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like just don't talk a little bit, and just unless you're gonna say that it's really super fucking gay. Yeah.
With his little clips where he's gonna go so
fucking gay. Let's get fucking smashed.
Get slamming ass.
Right?
Slamming so much ass. I will fuck him.
All right.
love it. I don't know, those little
yeah. No,
they're so much
subtle
fun.
quips. Give it to me, baby.
They're the funnerest.
They are so much fun.
Yes.
I love them.
And that's it.
Right.
That's all I got. So final thoughts. Right. Final thoughts. Anything?
Final thoughts. Everybody needs to get laid.
I loved Wayne's just. I'm not even going to contribute to the whole episode.
Yeah, that's right? Yeah, really. There wasn't a lot of Wayne in this.
I'm here, but guess what, guys? That's on you.
He contributed to the Johnson, and that was about it.
The Daddy. But this was not his episode.
No,
this
not
was
so
about
much.
Everybody else.
This is mostly Dan, and Riley and Jonesy.
Yeah.
Focused on them. Maybe a little bit of Stuart about his gay sex.
Stuart.
All right. So next week we've got our season. This will be episode 4, season 7. We're doing Letterkenny versus Penny with our longtime friend. I think she will be. Oh, you had something? Go ahead. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You wanted to plug something.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Before we
no,
go.
You
do it in the beginning.
No, you're right.
Before I go, I got sponsors that represent me. One of my old employers, SlossenHemp.us.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the best CBD products. Clean products.
Do they want to sponsor me?
Sorry?
Do they want to sponsor me?
I will definitely talk about
I will talk about them all the time.
This is an old friend of mine. This is family-based, military-owned. There's not a huge production line. This is people growing high-quality products, getting seeds from high-quality producers. Again, the website is slossenhemp.us. CBD products up to thousands of milligrams, tinctures, gummies, topicals, whatever the hell you need. Amazing stuff. I back them. I worked there personally before they even sponsored me.
Nice.
Or actually, after they sponsored me, I actually went to the facilities and worked there, and I can back 100%. Their shit is amazing. My other friend, Joey James Hernandez,
right?
He does T-shirts for a lot of bands that are touring, Seven Dust, Opeth, stuff like that. But then he does funny shirts. He has like the Man Eater shirt, where it's like the Hall & Oates, like a monster eating an actual man on the T-shirt. His website is tpublic.com/user/Joey James Artworks with an X, or unmetal.bigcartel.com. That's the funny metal shirts. Like I got the other Motorhead shirt that looks like a Motorhead shirt, but it's actually Tom Jones.
Nice.
And it says, "What's new, Pussycat?" It's hilarious. Or if anything else, Joseph James Hernandez on Instagram. Tell him I sent you. I appreciate it. I just got a piece of his art. It was a hand-drawn Bad Wolves rendition. It was this new band, Bad Wolves. My friend Doc Coyle is the guitarist in Bad Wolves. And they were supposed to be coming here in May, but that got canceled.
Do they have any recordings? They have any recordings that they might like to?
Are they an unsigned band that would like to be featured on a?
No, they're a huge band.
Oh, okay.
They tour with. They're signed. They're
well. I mean, even if they wanted to,
I mean, I'll ask them. I will definitely ask them, and that's not out of the question. But they were top 20 last year. They did a cover of "Zombie" by the Cranberries. And it was like huge, but it's like a metal version of it.
Nice.
But either way, yeah, I just needed to plug those guys because they're very, very good friends of mine and they support me in what I do.
Excellent.
And our listeners can find all that information in our show notes.
Yeah. And also, a lot of, this has been a lot of this season.
This time of year
Has been very artworky type of season for a lot of artists going to
it's convention season.
It's convention season.
Oh yeah,
a lot of conventions.
I bought that shit to make sure I support people who I know are not doing well right now.
Absolutely.
This was not a cheap piece of art that I bought.
Yeah. So
but, if you want to make sure that people are making their money when I'm doing well as a driver.
Yeah. So if you have artists that you like, you go to cons and stuff, you normally buy art. Remember them because that's where they make their money, and they don't get unemployment.
Come to our Facebook group and talk about
also. But you know what, guys, if you're listening to the show, please consider donating to the Patreon for this podcast. I mean, I contribute to this podcast, and that's how I'm able to be on this podcast. I'm very proud of that. It's a thing. I don't support anything else on Patreon.
Aww.
I went out of my way to support you guys because I really love what you guys do. And I want other people to do so as well. And I was going to throw in another thank you at the end, but I'm going to do it now. Thank you guys for continuing to put out content. We need this. Everybody needs this. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Yeah, we this is a labor of love. And it's still labor, and anything you're willing to invest in this, we'd love it and we'd appreciate it. And so thank you.
Dean
very
has
much.
a lot of jobs besides this podcast. So
well, and this podcast is a lot of jobs. This podcast keeps him busy many hours in the week.
Yeah. So yeah.
And sometimes he actually records his other podcast.
Sometimes, yeah. I'm gonna see if I can get hooked up with Don. Maybe we can do a remote.
Yeah.
Love that podcast too.
Yep. So next week will be season 7, episode 4, Letterkenny versus Penny with our buddy Awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, awesome.
Join the buddy system on Facebook to watch movies and play games with people from all over.
Right now on the side.
And don't forget to reach out to people, even if you think that they're fine. They're probably not.
Chat with your people. Reach out to them.
And if you feel like you are alone, if you feel isolated right now, if you feel lonely, reach out to somebody. I mean, people aren't mind readers, and expecting people to know that you need them is a really, really difficult thing because
especially at this time,
because if you're the kind of person that has trouble reaching out to somebody, maybe the other person is the same way.
Yeah.
So you need to get the fuck over it. I'm doing my best to talk to people more, which is really weird.
Yeah.
But it feels a lot less alone.
You say that.
I don't. When outside of work, I am pretty well. I'm social when I'm social, but when I'm not, I'm really not. And I really like my alone time. But
I know that just from context clues. I one day asked Dean what games do you play? Because maybe we can play some video games together. Dean was like, actually, she plays one-player games by herself.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
respect.
that is true.
I get it. That's
Someone
fine.
was asking me for my my Steam friend now. I'm like, I don't even have that set up for multiplayer, so I have no idea. I play old school Fallout and Warcraft, original Warcraft.
Nice.
So
Old school Fallout is awesome, though.
That's what I do.
Respect.
Yeah. So also, and musicians as well. So this week, our friends Flexidecibel, whose music we're using. So yeah, if you've got musicians are also they need some attentions paid to their to their payments.
Collective buttholes.
To their Patreons.
Right. So anyway, so yeah, everybody, thank you for joining us this week. We will be back next week, where we'll have,
if you need us.
Yeah. If you need us.
Thank you again.
Even if you don't need us.
The shirt.
Oh, hell yeah.
Cosplay.
Little fuck
guys,
fight,
throw in your cosplays. Come on.
Do it.
Yeah. Get after it. All right. So have a good week, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Hey, thanks everybody for listening this week. Our band this week was Flexidecibel out of Muskegon, Michigan. You can find them on Spotify and on Facebook and on Bandcamp at flexidecibel.bandcamp.com. We want to thank our special guest and longtime friend Rene Encarnacion. God damn it, Rene Encarnacion. I knew I was going to get it. My tongue trips up sometimes. So anyway, thanks Rene for joining us. And we'll see you guys next week when we have our friend Awesome on board with us for Letterkenny versus Penny. You guys have a great week. Bye.
Learn what you can, but don't waste your time trying to understand.